This is Brenda, Power Medicine Woman, and I'm glad to be back. What did we do? I thought it was very important to not get burned out into doing this work because even though it's my goal, my purpose, my desire, and so it's never work, it's passion. But at the same time, I am I know that I'm not into just routine all the time. I have to have a different variety so I can be yin and yang. And so I took the time off of just regathering myself so that I wouldn't get burned out in um, doing this work. I love doing this for people. I find it very fulfilling. It helps me because as I'm helping you or I'm teaching, then I'm being taught twice. So I'm always a teacher and a student and a teacher at all times. So as I went on my adventure, um, we decided to not just take time off from doing the show. We decided to go to Andamuka, and that was very enlightening because as we set our goal, we went there. We were able to, it's where they mine opals and things as well. So my husband thought it was very important that he get me a ring to celebrate that we've been together for 5 years. And this has 3 stones in it because I believe in numerology. So 3 stones here, 7 stones here, and I don't know, it's just a very good energy to help move along. So it's wonderful to see all your beautiful faces. Thank you. I was hoping people would look forward to, uh, having me back. And I wanted to put this other light on, but it washes me out. But it's also dark in here. So I might end up turning on a different light. So I hope you guys had a wonderful time. So as I've been finding this energy in the last week or so, it's like everything's right there, but yet just can't be seen. So the vibration is not matching. And usually that's a sign that I need to go find something I didn't know I was looking for in order to find what I'm looking for. So I had people throw trash away, and so I was digging through the trash. Yeah. Um, people, just say here, take free items and things like this. And as I was doing on my walk, this has a piece I found. It's just a, uh, a little small stand with a drawer and a cabinet down below, and so it's falling apart. But you know what? I need it, and so I thank Spirit, and I brought it home, and I've had it for several months. So during the thing, I noticed that one of my necklaces that broke. Now, before we go any further, this is from drjewelsvern from Etsy. I put the link up there. And this is compliments from doing work with them. And so this is vintage jewelry. And so anyways, what ended up happening was I broke a piece, my Egyptian piece, and it's like, where's my piece? And it's a little three scarabs that are missing. So I got on my knees and I thought, oh, maybe it's in the cabinet. Open it up. And I found all these, I got them all out in the other room, little tiny stones from garnets to amethyst. And I thought, oh, that's beautiful. But I also pulled out this. I don't know if any of you can see that. I'm like, what the heck? I don't remember any of these jewelry pieces. And it's very beautiful. But Spirit gave me a gift. I'll oftentimes get things in the mail because people want to thank me, and it's all about energy exchange, balancing out the energies, and that is my main focus, is to balance out the energies. I can give, but I also have to receive. And I thought, that is nice. I'm learning to receive. And so then I'm outside this morning, and I felt my sister and my mother around, but wasn't thinking on anything of it. Now, before I get any further, I've came into this world not able to feel people that love me. So this has been a journey all my life. And the man I'm married to, I mean, there is no doubt in my mind that he loves me, and I can feel his love. I felt it 10,000 miles away. I was completely shocked of how much I actually could feel love. Now, this is after I've done some hardcore healing, not just one time, a lifetime. I've done a lot of wonderful, deep emotional, pulling out old beliefs, breaking old paradigms, changing out the consciousness in my chakras. And so I literally, honestly feel love. And it's beautiful. So I have a hard time feeling love for my children, and I love my children, but I can't feel their love for me. And I don't know if it's just because they're teenagers. Well, they're not teenagers now; they're very young adults, and they have their own life. But it's like the 5 languages of love. But it's also, I just don't feel that. I mean, when they were babies, oh God, there was great bond. Then they hit a certain age, and it's like, what happened? Did a chakra open up or something? Because when 9/11 hit, everything shifted in everybody's world. And it was just like, wow, what the heck? And then I gradually started noticing hormones when they get introduced into a child. That changes as well. And so I wasn't for sure whether or not I was going to get a Mother's Day card, but wow, you beautiful people have sent me love. And, I can feel it. There's different types of love. And I don't know, it just warms my heart to be able to feel. So as I'm sitting outside this morning, I look over, and now my wonderful friend Lenore, she bought me a plant when my sister died, and it was a rose. And I was upset, and she bought me this rose. And when it bloomed the first year, which we didn't think it would because I replanted it, it was awesome. But we've had a lot of rain, thank God. Thank you for feeding the plants and the animals. And as I'm sitting there having my coffee, look over, and there's this rose from my bonita plant. And it's like, I looked over and I'm like, what? And it was like, it felt like it bloomed. My sister and my mother is sending me a message on Mother's Day that, and it just like, what? I didn't see it yesterday because it was kind of chilly and I wouldn't sit outside. But I was like, oh my gosh. And so feeling love from the other side, I want you all to experience this. But in order to really experience it, you have to remove all of the loss and the heartache and all of that pain and suffering that one gets from this turmoil that happens. And even though you don't understand why the soul took the exit point when it did, but when you understand the soul from that perspective, on that a different level of plane of existence, it's to be able to open to receive. And it's like, wow. I mean, you can. It's a different kind of love, but it's a love that is so beyond how you would feel love. And it's like spontaneous love. And I've had spontaneous love attacks, not a lot, but I mean, learning how to get them more and more. And the main thing is that you really need to allow yourself to heal, resolve those chemical peptides. Oh, wonderful. I'm glad to hear it, Sarah. Sarah says, hi, thank you for your guidance last night. And it's so important to understand that we're made up of chemical peptides. These are emotions. Okay? And when they affect your world, they will cloud you because they'll make you get over-identified with matter. And it makes you over-identified with that this is real, this is real, this is real. But you have to understand that the soul sees it through the eyes of this illusion. And these eyes only see so much frequency with the cones and the rods. And we get caught up in that this is so real that We use our sensory system thinking, that's it. And then if we don't listen with our heart and our higher self or our gut, then you are just listening through ego. You can really put yourself in chains and binds and allow yourself to not be able to get free from your own patterns of thinking and pain and suffering. And then the question becomes, it's causing pain to you. Why are you still allowing it? We have that power of choice. And look at all these beautiful people. Thank you. Yes. Happy Mother's Day to all of you. Even if you don't have kids, and if you are learning how to mother that inner child, happy Mother's Day to you too, because it's so important to get that you are not just the age you are now. And if you can learn to live in the moment, you can actually begin to address those emotions. You can say, I don't have to choose this emotion to create this reality. I don't have to choose this belief system. And when you begin to learn more of who you are, it makes a big, big difference. Now, I asked the Spirit, what should I do? Because I am a healer, first and foremost. That's how I started out to be. And, I noticing that people, are not quite getting what I mean by healing. You have to have the experience before you can go, oh my God, and get the epiphany, to get that awareness to make yourself want it more. With this spiritual development that's happening, it's so important that you wake up and care for yourself. And the only way you really can do that is to not be an ego, not allow ego just to control how you live. And so I feel like, it's like as I'm putting classes together and trying to figure out how to set it up, I want you to live. I want you to love yourself. And that's, people have a hard time with that. Now, I'm great with readings. I don't read, like somebody will say, give me a yes and no answer. It's not like that for me, because I could do a yes and no, but here's the problem. If your soul contract says that it's a soul lesson, and I come in and you ask me a question, based on your emotions that are very high, and you want a particular answer, you may not hear me anyway. But if your soul says, I'm not giving the answer, just like I won't give you the lotto numbers. And like, I'll know, like, for instance, when people, how do I put it? When people are dying and they have a soul number, and just to put it that way, if I know, they won't tell me. And it's like, but why do I need to know? And usually it's for the soul benefit, not for the survivors. That is, the soul will come to me and ask me to help them resolve an emotional tie or a mental tie that keeps them bound into repeating. Okay? And I will help that soul heal whatever it needs. And it works. And this is why it's important that you come to me, because then we can look at all of the things that need to be unwound. Your thoughts, your patterns of emotions, your beliefs, changing those values. But if you come to me in your ego form and you get an answer from me, you're going to walk away and think I'm a bitch. And I'll be, or it'll hurt. Because there's a part of you that don't want to see yourself that way. So when I'm giving you an answer based on yes and no, your soul has a whole different story. It'll tell you why it puts you in that position. It'll tell you why you're reacting that way in that position. It'll tell you all of the things that you need to address and to heal so that you can let that go and to create better. And it's interesting because when I see all the variables above your head, These are choices that you haven't made, choices that you're going to make, choices that you've already made repetitively in the program in the past. But when you come to each crossroad, every time you come to it, it's like which way you want to go. And these variables will say they haven't addressed it, or they have to go through this particular feeling. And most generally, it's a feeling that we have to feel, but we also have to not be attached to. And you're about maturity. You're about that soul maturity, which causes you to go into a wisdom state when you begin to get information, learn to listen with your heart and your higher self and your gut, resolve all those emotional hooks that cause you to keep repeating. When you begin to do this, when you really begin to look deep down, you have to decide whether you want to grow or stay. And if you're letting fear control you, that means you're not allowing yourself to be vulnerable, nor have courage. You're saying, I refuse to have change occur, so keep beating me up because my comfort zone is that I'm used to being beat up. Your soul will say, you said if you're not at this point, then I'm supposed to do this. And if that don't work, then I'll do this. And if that don't get you over there, then I'll do this. And you'll go from a whispering opportunity to a flying bitch slap. And it's you can begin to learn and understand those feelings by resolving out those that are so chemically peptide in controlling your thinking and controlling your moods. And when you begin to resolve those, you begin to wake up, not through your ego. You begin to wake up through who you truly are, which is your higher self and your heart and your gut. And when you begin to harmonize, then all of a sudden you can look at life differently. And I was able to learn how to do it through mirroring. So as I begin to learn to mirror that aspect is me, that is me, that's what I rejected, that's what I allowed myself to say that caused me pain, when in fact nobody caused me pain except for my own reality. Now, in the world of illusion, yes, this person would cause me pain, but it's also the way that I chose to react to it. So you start getting to the fine lines and you get to go to both extremes to begin to learn. Oh, why is the screen not working right? Let's see. Somebody says, I'm an emotional wreck and I feel everyone around me emotionally, my family, my children. I'm overwhelmed, but I have been like this since childhood. There you go. The thing is, you're ready to heal it. Because when you begin to understand all of what's causing it, and you begin to address particular emotions that are causing the repeat, then you can start to have relief. But you gotta want to let that go. That means, enough's enough already. So if Patricia is at Costco, wants to play, then I was hoping to have my video up and running, but what I've noticed is I can't find my cord. The way that I want to do this is that I need full participation, and the thing is I don't know if I can get this to be loud enough today. I searched high and low for my cord, and I have not found it. But you have told me in the past that you could hear the person, and I might try to risk that again. Oh, I don't know. The question is, if we can be friends in Messenger, then we can do this. I just don't want to do a straight free-for-all. There has to be some more even exchange of energy, and that is the one thing that I have got to figure out, because I do not need to take on anybody's karma. So if I told you a yes and no answer and your soul said it was something else, I'm going to have to incur that. I'm not going to do that. Not for me. I've worked very hard. Very, very hard. And, oh, that's the reason we need to turn on the iPad to get the volume working, or to get the connection working. Now, Patricia, if you're really there, then understand that if I give you this part of this read, I don't want you just wasting it. I want you to understand how it's all connected, but I want you to do something about it. I want you to, because this sounds like a long-standing. And I'll need some feedback, so that means even though there's a delay, you probably left, didn't you? Because I don't see your answer. Now we're down to 5 people. A lot of people don't like just to talk and to learn. And that's okay. I'm weeding out. I'm looking for people that want to know answers for their life and that want to address their issues. Ah, there you are. That want to say, I'm done with this bullshit of my life. And it's not about accusing or blaming. It's about looking at how your soul addressed this. Now, your name looks new to me, so I don't think we're friends in Messenger, but if you did find me, I'd be glad to have, if you would want to call, or I could call you so that we could have this communication, that'd be great. Open up. So, to start off, sweeping time, what are you talking about? You got like 4 people that are here. Ah, the sinuses are unbelievable. Don't stand so close. All right, that's better. They're not as close now. Oh my God. So how the healing sessions work. So just to help you understand, where'd she go? I lost her. Patricia. See, this is why it's important that, if we can be friends, then we can really talk. Costco, Miss Costco. There was the word failure. Now, I don't understand that sweeping, and I don't remember the second word I just said. Clearing the space. What, in your space? It can't seem to really connect. And you're supposed to go through failure in this life. And you're supposed to feel confusion. So do you feel like those 2 things have been in your life? Failure or feel like confusion? Kind of like you're not sure what's going on, but yet the feeling of that you have to be proud of yourself. So you have all of these different emotions, different beliefs, different things that are coming in to saying, this is who I am. This is who I am. But they're saying the emotional wreck came, is that at 1 year? At 1 year old. See, it doesn't even, is it very traumatic? No. Is this something that the child witnessed? Yes. And was there anger, fight? What was the witness? A very helplessness. Now again, we as souls have come in to feel, and you felt somebody at 1 year old that was very helpless about taking care of something. What are you saying? I feel like they became helpless because there was a humiliation that had occurred. Now, again, you do not need to remember what happened at one. Your daily life can repeat over and over what happened, not the verbatim of the incidents, because you get new characters that come into play, but you have the same emotions that will repeat. Okay, so the energy in your space at that time was that somebody was very lofty and so then made the other person helpless. So as you began to watch that, you could feel the person that was becoming helpless as humiliated because it was looking out going, oh, people are seeing me in that fashion. Okay, so how would you look at your life on that information? Have you ever felt helpless? Have you ever felt and understand humiliation? Now, with humiliation, you can have it happen to you once, and it can really propel you to show up as panicked that it's going to happen again. So, do you feel panicked? And how we begin to look at this, because it's based on what she said, which was, oops, I'm an emotional wreck. I feel everyone around me emotionally, my family, my children, and overwhelmed by how but I've been like this since childhood. So as I begin to look, it shows that at 1 year old, so I see you in the situation and you really can feel the exertion of someone's power. Now, where you took that in at is at the third chakra, in the front, in the back. It just is like all of a sudden you didn't have the will to be able to stop taking that exertion in. It was like, and it's that kind of controls how you are right now. And so it's like this particular energy will happen to you everywhere you go. So I would have to direct you into doing hope therapy. And that would be to address it so that, and this is what the important part is, because there's disconnect between this internet and us. And if I had you do this, like right now on a scale from 0 to 10, oh, spirits, leave my head alone. On 0 to 10, 10 being, oh my God, I just feel this emotional wreck. I can't control it. Okay, overwhelmed, can't control. Then I would say, okay, I would have you in front of me. To get a grasp on it, I would have you do, and they said just noticing the feeling, because they're just so, it's like a batch of stew. It's just huge. Would be the R2S. So I'd have you hold up your right hand. Understand that you have a thumb. Okay. This point right here. Okay. This side. That's first point. That's second. That's third. These are three positions. 1, 2, 3. I use them as numbers. Okay. This is the right hand. So it's R. R, 2. And then I'd have your thumb be put in that position. Okay. And you would hold soft, deep, soft. You would hold soft. And then you put your finger here and you would do this. Okay. And as you hold that point and you hold these points, you, because that's the stomach meridian pulse point, and it is, you're going to experience this feeling because it's a batch of stew. You have helplessness, you have everything in there. Okay, you would sit there and just focus on that big fat 10 of the overwhelm, the helplessness, all of it. And you would stay in this position, just like this, touching this point, which is an emotional point, making sure you cover the hairline because that's the liver meridian processing the chemical peptides. These are the oh my God points. And that's the frontal lobe. 80% of your blood leaves your frontal lobe when you're in fight, flight, freeze. And if you're stuck there, which it looks like, that blood ain't coming back up in anytime soon because it's in sympathetic mode. You think sympathetic is a good one, but you want your body in parasympathetic so it can rest and digest. Now my adrenals are hurting like and it just really hurts. Okay, so you really are producing a lot of cortisol at this point. And when that overwhelm happens, then your body will start to expand as a way to protect itself. So you become heavier in your physical body. And you hold this and you're focusing on the emotions. You're focusing on the feeling. You're letting all of those thoughts just go with however it looks. And when you take that to the next step, it is you begin to focus. And then if you were with me, I would direct you even further. See, I have no guarantees that you're doing it at all, or that you're even following, or if you have 1,000 questions. But when you begin to hold that point and you're doing this, okay, just stay there. The blood's going to come back up. All of your electromagnetic energy in your hands and the electromagnetic in your blood are going to start to attract, and they're going to start to wash out. And the parts of your brain are going to start whooshing and washing out of your frontal lobe. The way you create reality is that it's going to take and calm down those emotional chemical peptides. And then your thoughts become clearer. Yeah, Patricia says it feels like I'm being stabbed in the center of my back, and yeah, it hurts because all the energy is like gathering. It's like if you take a sheet that's nicely, and then somebody grabs it and then twists it, that's your fascia, so you can see how all the everything gets caught up in here, and you got no energy moving, because that's kind of like what you felt as a kid. And that is your chakra. That is that in your back. So here's your body. Okay? Your chakra in the back has to do with your will. And if other people's will is overexerting on you, your will is not going to come out to where it needs to be. It actually will be sucked in. So it'll like draw that energy there, and it can cause you extra pain just from that chakra, which then affects all of the rest of the meridians. In this case, it's saying that your stomach meridian, okay, it is messed up because it is taking in on, what do you want to call it? It's taking in this case, helplessness. And then if you register with the word helpless, then you focus on it. Again, there's no guarantees. This is why I wish that I had this computer. I thank you, Spirit, for having this full computer that I can sit there and do Zoom, or I can do something that brings it so other people can come on so you can actually see it. Okay, it's so important to do this. Now, you can purchase a healing. You can purchase a reading, 11 for 11 minutes for $11. I know that I can really see things, and I'm going to be straight out with you. I know because your spirit, your soul talks to me. Your different ages of you talk to me. Your 1-year-old just spoke to me. But then I also have the loved ones and the angels and the animals that are all here trying to communicate. And there's a husky now. Oh, you're so cute. That's here. And they all tell me. And what do they like to talk about the most? They like to tell me where you're losing power. When you begin to lose power, that's your personal life force power. I had somebody come up to me and go, well, power's wrong. And I'm like, you need to get a new definition of power. There's personal life force power, which if you didn't have it, you'd be dead. Empowerment is that inspiration within your heart and your soul, through your higher self, through your gut. that allows you to take care of this temple, that allows you to take care of your mental and your emotional aspects. And then there is the ego power. And I says, don't get confused. And she just sat there and says, no, there's no difference. I'm thinking, good God, get out of my face, because I'm not going to try to teach somebody that doesn't want to know. You're not worth my time. Every soul is worth my time. But if you're going to come to me with your ego and start telling me that your life sucks because it's my fault, go away. Because I'm not taking that karma on. I'm not going to sit there and put my life force out there. Okay? Because it's not important to me to live your life. I came in this meat suit. I came in to doing this because I wanted to know who I was. I wanted to know my purpose. So I'm not just about readings. Now, what I don't see is that she has said any more to me, so I have no idea. The screen is so small. Oh, see, it just jumped all over the place. Oh. So anyways, you can connect with me and help, so you can understand. You can get some guidance. But what do you do with it? I'm so curious because there's different stages of people's souls' growth. That's why I have no problem really giving you guidance. But what I do have a problem with is I don't think I'm communicating properly about who I am and what you can do with your life. You can change your life. You can actually create a heaven on earth instead of living in hell. You can really take leaps and bounds. When I take you on, it's because I see that you may need to just get over one issue. I took people in. I gave them love. I gave them opportunity because they didn't have money. And what did I get in return? A kick in the teeth that says that I'm their problem. I caused their problem. I'm like, wow. And that was enough. I said, Spirit, am I supposed to do any more with them? Nope. So I just unhooked and let them float away. Because what does that mean, unhook? They're called entanglement cords. These cords are to everything you see. And you can create relationships, and those entanglement cords can get bigger and thicker. And then you can be overattached. But when it no longer serves or no longer is meant to be in my life, I clean the cord, put a new one down, and then your soul gets to decide whether you get to stay or not. Because I just set up it through spirit, and I'm going to connect to you soul to soul. And it's up to you whether you stay or go. And my focus is my soul. My focus is about helping you become happy. It's not my job. But I see your pain. I relate to that pain. I can damn well feel that pain. Now, I haven't seen her name again, so I'm tried to click on PayPal. Let me see how it looks. If it's not working, sweetheart. This tiny little screen. That is correct. Just remember when you're doing PayPal, it's B, power. It's a dot. MW. So Brenda Power dot medicinewoman at dr.com. When you go to PayPal, if you don't have a PayPal account, it may not work. Okay. Sometimes when you have to set up, you have to put money in the account, and then the bank has to register back, and blah, 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 blah. That's how that functions. We don't have the Square over here in Australia. We don't really have any other way to pay when you're doing this. If you had, what do you want to call it, direct banking, but that'd have to be in Australia. There's different ways, but okay. When it comes to now Kate Walker. Now Patricia, if you can get through, great. She says, I have a very hard time with that in the most areas of my life. Getting court, stupid thing. Getting courts and become. Why does it jump? Getting courts and becoming lifeline for people instead of mutual offering of friendship. Okay, understanding that's karma. Understanding that it's meant to be balanced. And if your inner part of you is running a program that's producing this, because this out here, only way that this life out here can exist is it has to be the inner world. So your inner world creates your outer world. So, then we would look. Why is it that becoming a lifeline for people instead of mutual offering of friendship? And they said, if we were to go back, yeah, it is definitely a life lesson. Inside the womb? No. Right after birth, yes. About 2 months after you're born, the energy shifted. You were greeted with not the bonding energy, but the indifference energy. So do you feel like you bonded with your mother or your father or any family members? Because if that feels like, so at 2 months old, she had bonded, did it feel like it disconnected? Yes. So that's a soul lesson. And indifference came in place. Oh, do you also have anxiety? Because they said that the program, remember, everything meets. So if we were to take how you feel that indifference when it comes to relationship, it actually has a picture and everything else. You would start to clear that out down to zero. And they said that you could feel the energy of contempt from people, but you couldn't tell who was it to, from me to them to, it was just, how you want to put it, a very strong contempt energy that was in the space. So if you were sitting on your mother's lap and there was contempt towards her, you're going to think it may be you. Does that make sense? And in order to make that stop, you go into the emotion and you have to feel the emotion, and then it has to dissolve out. Again, hope therapy it would be my key. Okay? Okay, somebody's drawing my attention. Oh. Okay, so there you go. If you're not able to bond, then that'll be your first thing, is that we have got to take the things that stopped you from bonding. Okay, your soul said that you had to feel contempt. You had to feel, I want to say, unwanted. So no matter how you try to be an adult to correct that, you already have a program that says, this is what I know. And so you are being an adult, but you need to go in and you need to mother that little part of you, that 2-month-old, which means this is how I would do it, would be through hope therapy. I would take and have you do and hold those points, whatever point it is, that has you feel that. And then how you know it is how you change it. So when you start to change those chemical peptides, it changes how you know it. So you don't have to over-identify with that all the time. And slowly we would clean out how you have to meet with everybody here. And it has to show up that way. So it can change because it is part of that soul contract, with meaning it's meant to change. If you need to heal, okay, so don't just waste it. Don't just get this information. Get out there. And if you don't want to do the one-on-one with me, it's not that expensive, then you go and you try to find somebody else. Or you go and you use EFT to take and knock out of the park yourself. Now, there's a problem when you start to heal yourself, because the mind that created it, you're trying to heal it with the same mind that created it. And the problem with that is that you can only meet so far. Now, the only way that I learned to overcome it was that I had to allow myself to learn different aspects. And I had to learn to let that program grow. into a different area. And then I had to learn to let it go. I had to surrender how I knew this. And it changes. Okay? Healing a broken heart. I've had so many people die. I've had people, you break up and that heart hurts. And the first thing you usually have to heal, and I only know how to talk in the meridians, is that the triple warmer is it's too much in charge. And when that triple warmer comes in too much charge, it doesn't allow you to heal the pain. It just puts up walls and it pushes and it shoves and it doesn't allow you. And it's like, I got to keep the pain so it doesn't happen again. And that is so not good for your soul or for you. It's just going to cause the law of attraction to make it keep happening. The law of attraction to make it keep happening. You need to heal that inner part of you. So I would end up doing hope therapy, and I would have you hold your triple warmer, and I would have you feel this energy of the broken heart. And then I would take you up to the heart meridian and pull that pain out and take that wall down. Yeah, you got a wall there. What about it? You have a wall of anger because it didn't get addressed. Whatever the broken heart was, there's another emotion that sits there. So as you begin to take the pain out, you also have to take out the unspoken words, the things that usually with a broken heart, you had a future. And that pain of not having that future, that's loss as well. And when they combine on top of each other, it really makes it very, what do you want to call it? Very much draining. Well, you can hear, wonderful, Kate. Kate, I know this is going to jump. I'm not going to be able to see it. Ooh, it's almost there. Come on. Come on. Kate says, that is amazing. I have been worrying lately about being unable to bond or attach properly. And yet, well, now you understand, and we can break that down to the point where it doesn't have to control you anymore. You get to rearrange and create a different program. You get to choose again. Let's see. But I have never, stupid thing. Now it really jumped. There it is. Okay. Due to my childhood experience in terms of being a parent, but I have, I tell you, I'm glad when I get in the machine. Well, now it really jumped. Oh, well, I'll read those later. Well, there it is. Okay, experience in terms of being a parent, but no, there we go again. I've never connected to my social struggles. Yeah, okay, so then we would definitely have to take another layer, because even if it's in the home, the social level on this case is that you've experienced it again, and again. It's called overtime hopelessness. And that sets in another meridian. And it's the large intestine. So it's like, oh, here we go again. And so this program will pick up, and just when you think you're getting out of it, it begins to repeat itself. Ouch. Advice on shielding. So there's different energies that people can see it. It's just changed. Kenneth says, I got attacked by an astral spider the other day, and advice on shielding. It's interesting because I'll just straight out say it. At 1 week old of being born, you were not being protected. Not to say your parents were not doing a good job. What I'm saying is that just for that brief moment of energy, you felt exposed, vulnerable. And when you have been exposed and vulnerable in that particular energy field, which is in a different dimensional shift. Say it. So the energy, okay, so they're going there. They're saying that on a soul level, it is the compatibility. Now, I'll have to explain that to you so you understand. But there's a habit. A habit got formed from that 1 week that you were, there you are. Oh, because it looks like you had a rattle, and then the rattle fell, and it frightened you because you didn't have the connection like you would an adult. You had no idea. You just heard, you felt it. Um, you. Oh, you also saw something in another dimension, and so then everything equals the same. So there's the engram. So when it came to being who you are now, that same particular story is now repeating itself again. And in this case, it's not about shielding as much as how your little self, your 1 week old, interpreted the world, which left a, um, I don't want to say door, but left it open because it's not cut any of that. It literally is exposed. It's a vulnerability. That was the very first word I heard, and now they're repeating it again. But it's to the other realm. There's a part of you that didn't want to come here. You're like, this shit's going to happen again. And then you came here in physical form, and then at 1 week old, because you don't have that same mind as you had before you came in, they said that you were very much exposed to the reality of this world, and that is that rattle fell, it hit you. You, oh, see, I see that you can see the other side, or which plane? You can see the third plane. Oh, you haven't shut that door to the astral world, did you? No. So you would need to clear out that experience, that memory. So basically what I would have you do is that I would have you do hope therapy, because it is the energy of your meridians and the chakras of the consciousness and the way the aura body is. I would have you do hope therapy, to have you hold a point, and I'd walk you through the emotion, walk you through the experience, which means we would have to go just prior, during, and after. And then we would have those emotions that hold into place would resolve out, slowly detaching the energy. And then we would have to figure out what it is to close that door, because you don't need that open. You have the choice of walking through, but this is not even, there's no protection there. You need that shut. And see, and even I'm asking the angels about it, and they're saying, what's a choice? And so it's a soul choice. That means I would have to have you go in, and we'd have to look at changing that soul choice. Yes, you can change it. That's what it just said. You've exposed yourself to, what about guilt? I'm petrified. So it's like you're being hooked into repeating this. This is definitely a past life now. So you're hooked into repeating that because of that past life, that guilt. There's a fear that you will be dead or controlled if you shut that door. So there is a greater fear going on that can be disconnected, because this great fear is something that you thought you needed to experience again. But it sounds like you have experienced this at least 39 lifetimes. And have you did the kaleidoscope? Don't need to. You keep repeating something for at least 10 times, and that is the compatibility. Oh, so you keep attracting unhealthy things. Okay, so compatibility. We're electromagnetic beings. Is that what you're referring to? Not just this. Okay. Your meat suit here, you're made of electromagnetic energy, and as your consciousness beams into this meat suit, you've come up to experiences that you were compatible with, but then as soon as you've had certain experiences and defined it, it would go whoop. So you'd start to repel, pull away. Okay, you're like, whoop, you're going to start repelling. And once you get out of, so it goes 0, plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. So that's complete compatibility down to 0. But when you start going into the repulsion stage, which is minus 10, you really can do a number on the physical as well as how you see life. Now, my 5th chakra is starting to change. So it's about how the will, in this case, when I was growing up, I was an angry child. And I remember somebody put fear in me so bad that I refused to ever show my anger ever again. And so that's the will in the back chakra. And that's also what had cracked my, disturbed my spine. And I have, for many years, have learned how to control, overcome the anger, but all it did is repress and restore anyways, the point is it's like a jack in the box. Pop goes a weasel, meaning it is going to somehow surface. If you hold it in, it'll surface somehow in a physical issue, and if it comes out, it could hurt others. But there is something that I wanted to stop in my life, and that is I didn't want physical abuse. I didn't want that aggression to come out. I didn't want to follow that in my bloodline. So I put a stop to it. But the problem is that I didn't really put a stop to it, and that is to resolve out those emotions. It took me a long time to get to that. We would have to actually reverse the compatibility. Because according to this, you have repulsed it, that particular energy field from over there. So it's a -6. So you really have created a repulsion, but all that does is create a magnetic disturbance, which causes unhealthy things keep happening to you. Okay. Now your soul has just handed me, it looks like a tray with a book on it. It said that, again, at 2 years old, it says, I can't afford to change. Why is that? Because in order to solve this for many lifetimes, you thought you need to become more ego, which is just cut off a little bit more of that spiritual part. So you have like deactivated part of your spiritual ability. There's like can you feel like you're missing something as far as your ability? Yes, this is to Kenneth, if you're wondering who. Kenneth Price, Rainford III. Clear your mind. Me? Yeah. All right, so a whole bunch of people have just jumped on board. They're like, me. Okay, so in Spirit's choosing, you come from a group, so we must all come from a group. So now I got to figure out what Spirit wants. Okay, what does Spirit want? And if any of you want a read that's 11 for 11, I got to check to make sure. I got to figure even where I'm at. Oh, there. That's the group. 5D group. Oh, that's what I'm feeling. Gotcha. Now the group. What do you want me to do? You have a specific. The other deck's here in the other room. This one. What do you want? This is something to do with that group, because you're all standing here looking at me. Because out of the people that are in this group, there's one person that just stepped out of the crowd, came forward, And then they drew the card of the wild hunt, which is excitement, frenzy, and journey. So they're talking about a particular journey. And what's interesting is that we're going to tell us a story. Is that what you want? Yes. This particular group, we draw one more card from here. Okay. Oops, don't need to drop everything. So someone has paid. Ah, yes, Patricia Jefferson. Wonderful. I think that's it. It's so Sensoria, but I think you're Patricia. Group, yes. Is somebody considered Spider Woman or something? It's weird. They're showing me. Not sure if you all know each other, but there's something in particular, and that person, I don't know if she's considered the leader. Is that what you want? Beauty, plenty, and readiness. So it is about opening up your guys' self to have this particular journey. You have like one thing in common from what I can feel, but there's a sense of looking for a particular direction. Does that make sense? No? Wrong deck? No. What about it? No. Oh, you guys have a past. No, you can't be a whole new life group. There's something particular, though. All right, we'll pull that. We'll see. So the person in charge, whoever that is. Oh, well, shit. Finances seem to be a thing from the past, but you guys are all learning how to resolve prosecution and inquisitions. That's what I feel like. There's like this common ground that. So I'm just going to ask, is it about thinking that you may be wrong to receive money for doing the gifts? Or do you have people that are prosecuting you for having gifts? I'm not sure how that flies. So, because you're all new to me, if you wait, I'm going to do a paid reading, and then when I get off, I may end up doing my something special. I haven't decided yet. So, I can't. Are you here, Miss? Oh, thank you, Steve. Happy belated Mother's Day. I'm looking for a Jefferson. Serena? Sensira? Jefferson. And there you are, sweetheart. Patricia. All right. Is there anything specific that you want? Anything that you want to ask about? You want just a cold read? So we'll just wait for just a second on that. Some of you have been asking, well, what deck was that from? She held up those cards. It was from the Forest Fairy, Fairy Forest, by Lucy Cavendish. All right, love reading. Gotcha. Do you want those? Maybe. All right. How about that? Now, the first thing we're going to do is shuffle a deck of the Romance Angel cards. Oh, there's a softness. Wow. I feel like all I can think of is as if there was a little baby involved. There's this love. And it's like, I don't know if it wants to come into being or it's just this newness. It's a soft. That's all I can tell you is the word soft. And Spirit is saying that you have a lot of passion that is ready to come forth. And as far as, do you have anybody to give it to? You know, the passion. So coming into alignment is that you have to heal the fact that in one relationship, which happens to be a filter that you bring through, it is because they act mean. So it's not like you mean to, but when you go to try to find love or in love or be around love, there's this filter that it's like a heart wall, but it's not quite a heart wall. It's just a filter of a particular experience. And this acting mean came about when you were, I don't know how old you are, but if you're older than 30, it'd be 32. Or if you're not, that means your future self is telling you that there's something deeper, which happens to be when you were inside the womb and you picked it up and it's not even yours. Oh, really? So is it a prenatal? Yes. Oh, so it's a prenatal one. So when it comes to be ready to get close, and then you have that filter back to mean, it's to go numb. It's an interesting energy because it just literally looks like it's numb. So if you choose to do this, I'm just going to use my hand. I don't know where all my magnets are, but you put your hand on top of your head or find a refrigerator magnet, and you're going to say prenatal conception numb. 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 Jesus. Prenatal conception young. Young. Whoa, we just shifted. Hold on. And it's really weird because I see a shadow. That's why you went numb. Prenatal conception numb. Whoa, prenatal conception numb. Really? So you couldn't get your eyes focused. Well, that explains that too. Prenatal conception young. Young? Again? Numb. Prenatal conception numb. So okay, one more time. What is that? A drug? Something that changed the structure of how you see things. So something was, I don't know if it was ingested in your mother or if you felt it from your mother, but however it was something that you picked up and it needed to go. So again, I only put this on the bandwidth. So if you want it gone, then you agree to it and then you can receive it, or you can repeat it. By doing that, all you need to do is repeat it 10 times, but then 10 times in a row, but you only have to do it once. Whose agenda? The agenda was to turn on the timer. Didn't do that. But that's not what they mean. The agenda is that it's always somebody else's agenda. So do you have a relationship with people that somehow they get, what do you want to call it? Their agenda comes before yours because you are a nice person, if that makes any sense. Is this her or them? You feel like people have not forgiven you for doing something, even though you didn't do it, because it says the forgiveness card. And learning, as you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. But in this case, I feel, again, that you have a block that's not yours. Is this, again, somebody else's? Yes. And you had picked that up, but is that trapped? No. You assumed that this was part of your life. This is how you interact with people. is that you're not supposed to, you're not supposed to be forgiven. So then that makes me question whether or not were you by accident. Well, no child's an accident. Child's supposed to come through, it's going to come through. But I mean, in the eyes of other humans, in the eyes of other humans, does it? So then that leads to feeling that you can never get connected. So you could have this could be the one. So they're really, you have all this passion, but you have all of these things that make up your story. Do you understand so far? It makes up your story. They're saying for you to change, the part of you has to keep your mind open, okay? Because your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. And so the people you keep attracting are the ones that you had chose in your mind in a past life that says that you're supposed to pick these up. And so when you were in the womb, you created a certain circumstances again where you're not meant to be forgiven and you can never be the one. But you keep an open mind because there are certain people you keep retreating from because you keep repeating the pattern that you have to be treated a certain way, which isn't very friendly. And you need to get over that. How would you do that? I would heal those. So the main thing that I'd want to heal would be you think a particular outcome has to always happen. And so by controlling this particular outcome, you can't see other possibilities. Do you see? It becomes tunnel vision. You have to actually allow yourself to say, thank you, Spirit. I want a relationship. I want something healthy. And that means that you can say, thank you, Spirit, for lining some people up so that I may learn a pattern and let it go and heal it so that I can open my mind. When you do that, you may find that you'll have like 12 guys, not all in a row, but you get 12 or so, and you begin to learn a pattern. And the thing is wait a minute, do I want that pattern? And then you have to be open to a new pattern so that you can experience something you haven't experienced before, not unhealthy stuff, but the way you need to go. There's a part of you that repeats your thought pattern that you have to get depressed if it don't go a certain way. So your strategy of wanting it, it starts off with you have to feel like you're depressed. You have to feel what else? You have to feel your heart wall. You got to believe your stories. And then they say you have to cry and you have to go on uncertainty. And then you can pick up on other people's minds because your brain says this is what they're thinking. And is it true? No. But this is the story that you have to put yourself through based on, did she really have this? Yes. So it's a psychic trauma, which means at what age? 2 years old, you picked up how many emotions? Four particular emotions that all felt at the same time. That's why it's a psychic trauma. Well, let's see if I can remember without writing it down. The first one is paranoia. Second one is failure, paranoia and failure. Worry, paranoia, failure, and worry. And numb. So paranoia, failure, and worry, and numb. Paranoia, failure, and worry, and numb. Paranoia, failure, and worry, and numb. So you do that healing, like you take your magnet in your hand and you roll it back down. You do it a couple times, at least 3 times or more. And what it does is that that psychic trauma actually started to prevent you to see the love that you can get. Because there was a part of you that only saw distortion love coming to you. But I think by clearing this out, it's going to create a way that you're going to learn how to receive love without thinking that, okay, the color of my skin, that I'm this type of woman, the way that I look. All these things prevent me from having love. That doesn't have to be that way anymore, if that makes any sense. Okay? What about it? From that experience, you created a hidden heart wall. And it's that interaction with people. It becomes a very, at the end, when you were younger, it was very, very paranoid that you're going to feel inadequate, that you weren't up to their standards. Now all of a sudden my stomach is like, I want to throw up. It's like when you get anxiety or something that happens when you're around somebody, because all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, I feel this particular way. And it creates an uncertainty. Okay? So the hidden heart wall, what are we calling it? Is it made up of what? No, it's made up of self. So guilt. So you use guilt on yourself. Self guilt. So do we roll that out? No. Self guilt. So you wouldn't? No. Self guilt is a habit that creates you to hide and doesn't allow you to express that love. So you need to address self guilt. You have to know how you do it, what triggers it, and you need to tap in to heal those out or make an appointment with me, but you need to get those out. Because your interaction of guilt just gets in the way. Is that why you blame yourself? That's why you can't forgive yourself? Yeah, that's what it looks like. So it's just much easier for you to retreat, to go the other way, because that's what the strategy pattern says. So in all that's healed, let's say all that's healed, especially that last one. You could create a wedding. You could allow yourself to have that integration within yourself so that you can allow your inner world to create a healthy outer world to bring that person to you. They said, but begin to love yourself first, minus the guilt. And then it'll take you to the next step. And it'll be done very soon, especially if you heal. Okay? Oh. I know. Emotions are going to cause an indigestion. Emotions can cause congestion in itself and doesn't allow you to move forward. I would suggest that you learn how to heal, or you allow yourself to make an appointment with me. Like I said, I'm not that expensive, and we can get a lot done in a short amount of time. Somebody on the other side says, hello. Looks like a fluffy cat. I don't know. It just looks like a big ball of fur. It looks like a hair, it just poof. Maybe it's a dog. I can't even barely see it. I just like a poof. It's like, hello. And then if you had something that loved you, it's prancing around you all the time. And if you sometimes feel like you're tripping, because there was a lot of great love in this space, if that makes any sense. Share and share alike. Oh, must have been a dog. It wants that bacon. It wants something. So share alike. So the adrenals, we need to get your adrenals to calm down. Yeah, so I'm just going to send some energy to see what happens. I'll put it on the bandwidth. You just take it in when you're ready. Okay? We have another 1111. Judy, Buening. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's interesting energy. My head's it's weird. My body feels like it's in a tornado, but my head isn't. Um, the heck is that? Okay, so Judy, type. Okay, so just type and let me know. Okay, oh, I just saw it. Here we go. Little tiny screen. What is wrong with you today, little screen? Oh my God, I hope it didn't just screw it up. Still working, I hope. I clicked the button and all of a sudden it made you disappear. Okay, Judith, that's Judith Lynn. Okay. Do you have a specific topic that you would like to talk about? Ooh, stop moving. This is like, I saw that she wrote, she says, yes, I'm here. Okay, got that one. Why does it do that? All right, any specific topic? If not, I'm just going to jump in because your body, you have your 4-year-old selves here. You have, I don't know, it's a mother figure, very strong one that's coming through. I'm not sure if you have a snake or if that's about your kundalini, but all of a sudden, I don't know if you have been bitten. The energy changed in you. So the vibration, is it lower? Relationships with family. So are you a black sheep type thing? So you were born to stand out? Are you aware of any of this? Because it said something about you were born to stand out, but you misunderstood it. Attached, what do you mean? You attached to the positive ions, which is unhealthy for you. You want negative ions. And you're attached in how, what way? Of your auto response. So you have an auto response that is, oh, if you could see the pendulum, it's like, yeah, an auto response, and you learned that at 4. That, and in the family, I have to be the good girl. Ooh, but I can feel all of this in the inside. So you repressed some stuff. So did you have to be neat and polished, perfect child? The reason I say that is because this is what they're saying, if that makes any sense. So feedback if you can. Okay, she says, any message, it could be my third eye, and this could be it, because if you programmed yourself at 4 to have an auto response, to live in the family, then I feel like you weren't really allowed to be right-brained that you should be. They said yes, that's correct. So again, it goes back to how you change the vibration, which goes to positive ions, which affects the ability to choose. So you don't even allow yourself to go into the quantum field properly. No, because how you're supposed to choose is based on other people. No, my mother. What? Lives through. You have to live through others is what I just heard. Is that true? Okay. Why is this not working? Anyways, you just get another couple minutes free. Everybody's getting that free today. Okay. self-conscious and right and wrong, or self-conscious is becoming very self-conscious of self and how she responds, because if she responded the way she wanted, she could get a spanking, could get corrected. In your mind, you saw it as very detrimental. In real life, it may not have been. But however it is, I'm looking at how your program is saying that it looks. Right now, okay, Judith paid. You guys are talking. I had a sister that passed away when I was 12, but I also am stupid. She also am what? Bipolar, and had to cut out a lot of ways, I think. Oh, yeah. What age did you become bipolar? 4, going back to 4. So did you do this as a way to survive? Um, so are you supposed to be bipolar? No. So you chose this. You chose it because you couldn't feel. So it's all about the way we choose, has to do with cope, handle, deal, pacify. And when we don't know how to do it, we end up, because you became irrelevant. Really? You felt irrelevant. Look that word up so you can really understand what that means, because if you're beginning to feel irrelevant, you're going to start thinking and vibrating yourself out of your own picture. Does this make sense? Things won't go your way. You'll have strange things occur. That's why the bipolar. Okay, so when you go out into the quantum field, you don't really, you can't, because that comes up and says you have to choose a particular way of doing it. So what exactly did that cause? Shame. Shame. So are you controlled by shame, per se? Because if so, get that out of there, because you are being controlled in that fashion, which doesn't allow you to create your reality. You have to allow yourself to want to be able to create reality. You says at 4, I can't create my reality. I'm not allowed to. I don't have rights to create my reality. Do you understand what that means? You have got to get those emotions out, because if you don't, you're going to end up keep repeating the same cycle. Irrelevant is that see, that's not the word I want. I was looking it up. Ugh. Yeah, that's what I want. I don't want that word. And now, stupid thing. There we go. And it's going to be stupid. Not connected with, or relevant to something. So if you can't connect with something in your life, or you want to connect with some person, you don't feel like you have roots of your own accord, because you have to live through others. Were you made to feel irrelevant? Again, did you have okay, Judith, understand you have a life and you're a little girl. As a little girl, what happens? All right, just stop. I have to get this corrected. Y'all just bitching because you ain't getting a free reading. I didn't say you weren't getting a free reading. I said for those that want to heal. Got it? These people wanted to pay. I'm giving them my time. You want a free reading? You have to wait until I can get there. I made you my 2-minute free reads. I said, hang on. I wasn't trying to trip up, fail anybody, fuck them over, do any of that, because somebody's got some aggression out there and they're shooting it right at me, and I'm saying, no, thank you. So the angels now are just protecting the area. So sorry, Judith. I'm just going to start the timer again. All right, Judith. At 4 years old, I need to know, did you feel like you had to live through others? Yes or no? Did you feel, or do you now feel, that you really can't make a decision for yourself because you're supposed to, follow along, be this good girl, you have to, this is the way I'm supposed to live, because your energy is over here. And re-listen to what I've typed or what I've said, go back to the timestamp, re-listen. In that particular part of who you are now, you can look back and you can say, oh shit, I did feel that way. Oh yes, that did occur. Find that particular thing, because if you were made to feel that you can't connect with what you want, but you have to connect with what other people want, you're not going to feel like you can create your world the way you want it. Okay? So when I'm giving you clues, it will take and lead you you can use healing tools to break the cords. You can use healing tools to break those particular habits, and you can really change the frequency in your body. Oh, this keeps jumping so terribly. I can't wait to find my cord so you guys can call in so I can just do it better. The chakra, okay, understand. Life happens based on our soul. Your fourth chakra, that love center, the front, the back, the will to love what you want, you didn't give yourself that right. Really, part of you really felt that you weren't supposed to. Because if you were to take irrelevant and you have it in this particular situation, they can have a conversation with you, but your words are just irrelevant. They matter, you don't matter, and what the conversation is, and what's happening, and what's in a group, and what's going on. Defining words to help you understand what your life's about, and then you take those emotions and resolve them out. That's what you do to your body, is you allow yourself to get those emotions out. Because if you don't, that energy is always going to attract the same story. Now, understanding if you're bipolar, they probably have you on medicine. I would help you probably begin to do figure eights. You need to get the brain to communicate. And if it says that you're homolateral, that means that the right brain is controlling the right side, the left is controlling the left side. That energy is going to be off. I would do cross crawl. Literally take and have your right hand and your right knee up, and then, or your right hand and your left knee up, okay? So basically, you're doing an exaggerated march, okay? If the right one goes up, the left leg's going to go up. And if the right one goes up, or left one goes up, then the right leg goes up. You got to do like a scissors. You got to get that brain to cross over. Now, what stops the crossing over in particular, next page, is the program, which is what we've been talking about. This 4-year-old program has been controlling your life. And when you walk forward, that's stuck too. So the crossing over is not occurring. What about when she's walking? No. It runs backwards. So your energies are not only not crossing over, they're running backwards. Collarbone. Okay. Collarbone. And here's the tip of it, and it's sliding into this hole. You're going to have one on each side. You need to start turning your switch on. This is the K27 kidney point. It's the last point. And what it does is this helps flip all of the meridians to go in the direction. Some are supposed to go forward, some are supposed to go backwards. but it pushes the yin and yang in the body. It actually helps to control the blood flow and the stuff that needs to go to the brain. To help create your reality, you're going to need to start putting your hand on your forehead. Besides the cross crawl, put your hand on your forehead. Get that blood back up into the forebrain so that you can create reality better. Okay? That is what I'm seeing. Okay. Rainbows all over the place. Don't know what those are. You have to get the uncertain emotion out of your head, because if you are taking medicine, or if you were told that you can't think because you have to be uncertain, that's going to block you every time from growing. Just put your hand on your forehead and start to think of uncertainty. Put it on a scale from 0 to 10. Oh my God, this is so uncertain. You know that so well. You need to get the blood coming up. You need to stop that pattern, that muscle memory pattern. And once you do, your uncertainty of it's a big fat 10 to, oh, I feel a little bit more certain. Get it down to 0 so that you then can all of a sudden have a clear head, so that your mind can go, oh yeah, you can become more certain of it. Because the staying in the state of uncertainty allowed you to protect yourself so that you could follow orders. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So you got more time, so that seems to be that. Now, this screen sucks like you wouldn't believe. I don't know if I can pull it up on here or not, and I've got to figure out a way to do this, because it's got to run smoother. You all don't understand that there's a delayed feedback, and not only is the issue a problem there, but the screen is so small I can't even see a name to do what I want to do. So if I were to go into this, let's try it another way. We go over to, excuse me, if I go here, oh, please work, please. I'm trying something else so I can get in there to do readings for you, so that I don't have to rely on the screen. And so you all think, oh, you skipped me, blah, blah, blah. And that energy just drives me nuts. Oh, come on, cooperate. Get there. Come on. Get you. You know, if you want to hear more, then I would definitely say to, like the page. Hit notify, see first. Notice when I come on. I usually come on 2 days a week. One in the morning like this, one in the evening. Beat this thing up. All right, Spirit, we're going to change this. Help me out. I would like a particular outcome. Yes, I would. Let it go. Okay. So I'm going to ask, since Lenore is here, Lenore, can you see that board? Can you see when they type? Because what I want, if you will do this for me, I can see when you type me. I would like people to say, I'm here. And those that do, you can see in a row. And then when they do, you can go ahead and tell me who that first person is. Because I can't see that. Now, I'm not going to, all I'm going to do is that we're going to allow, because of there's so many people here, and I'm not going to be here all freaking day. So I'm going to try about a minute and a half. So if I go a minute and a half, that should be plenty of time. And will you do that for me, Lenore? Will, see, I know, I just saw a couple here, but the screen is so small. And if you keep saying, feeling sorry for yourself, you never get a reading. I've never seen your name here before, so don't be putting that on me. Stop moving. Did she leave? No, okay, I think she's here. Leon, okay, so however you say it, it's going to be a minute and a half. Say I'm here. You only have to say it once. Don't say it a billion times, otherwise we're going to get screwed up. She's going to pull the name, give it to me so I can actually see it. Leon, ready? Let's go. Oh, compatibility. Is it still? So the compatibility to live through others. You're still doing it. You haven't, you're so nice and you're so compromising. You're letting them do things to you that you're not really sure that you want being done. You feel like you're being bullied into doing something you don't want to do. But you can't stop the obsession of your thinking. If that's the case, then I would say, just try this. Okay, I gave you all those free websites, but just try this. And when you start to obsess about whatever it is, just keep your hand there until you stop obsessing. Okay, it'll help calm that down. What about it? Is that an age? One what? What are you telling me? One particular time. You can't see it, so it's like an automatic response when somebody comes up with their lofty energy of authority. So there's an authority thing going on. And that happened to you at one. So when you see people have that particular authority to you now, it makes you lose power. That's why you have problems in over and down in the root chakra. Okay, so I would heal that. How you connect with that authority, you need to disconnect from that authority, and that is break down the chemical peptide. Next person. Just put up all the names in a row, Lenore. So whoever, because I think I'm not going to say names because it'll fuck it up. So, Lenny, are you there? That's delay. So again, just put all the names up so I can just see them instead of me waiting. I need to do this quickly. Why doesn't this just move like it's supposed to? I'm just gonna, okay. Hold on. All right. Is that Amy Jensen or Amy? Because I don't know if we got more than one Amy. Just keep putting up the names if you can. I'm just going to think it's Amy Jensen because she's usually here. Amy. Awkwardness. So I see you, like when you're out in public that you may feel awkward. They said that you may not even be aware that this is happening, but it actually slows down the way your body walks. It restricts the energy flow in the way that you walk. And that's a clue to how you feel. You're doing your best to be indifferent with what's going on so you don't take on anybody. But at the same time, it creates low self-esteem because the other part of your aura is that you're picking up the energies of how do I do something? How do I relate? And they said, and it all stems back to awkwardness. So the continuous of the feeling is that you really need to go in there and tap out awkwardness. Look it up, define it, feel it, release it. Okay? You need to get that gone because this happens to be the third chakra, and the third chakra in the front. So you feel your environment before you continue on to allow yourself to get in this particular state. It's just an automatic response, and you can't get in a state of happiness, as which sometimes you're like, yes, I'm gonna be happy, and you're in your head, I'm gonna do this, and your body's like, no, we're not, and then it just kind of pulls back, and you feel dredging. Okay, good. Next person, Lisa Hildebrand. Lisa Hildebrand. Oh, action. Ooh, you're taking a lot of action. I see sunshine, I see action, but you're petrified about something. You don't want to know if you want to know if it's safe to do it. They said it's very safe, it's just your fear. And your fear, without knowing it, sets inside your body. So you also have a third chakra in the back this time, is that you don't know if you will you don't know if you can use your will to do something. And they said that this can get really confusing to you because in your head you're convincing yourself one thing, but your body's going, and all this goes back to when you were 5 and you weren't sure. I don't know if you felt like you were supposed to get near water, take and jump into, I just see you in a bathing suit as a kid. But something is very, I don't know if I can. So there's a hurdle there. Is it a particular emotion, memory? No, it's a pattern of learning how to correct your thinking because you're not sure how that will go. So you have an automatic response. So just stop. Okay, this is automatic. I can feel it. Now you know you can tap it out. You can hold your head up on the, like that. But I would also put my finger in my forehead and my belly button, hold it there and lift up. And you need to get people out. So do Wayne Cook or connecting heaven and earth. And then as you separate and connect that heaven and earth, you'll get rid of the people so that you can feel more confident. That goes away. Next person, Jacqueline. I think it's Jacqueline. Jocelyn, Jaclyn Marie Crispin. Okay, ready, go. Marie Crispin. I'm so sorry to butcher your name. Reaction. You have a reaction. Do you keep doing the same reaction? Because it gets you something. It used to get you something. So how you were behaving, so how you have a certain behavior, you're not getting. As a child, you learn how to behave this way. As you get older, it's not creating the same response. Again, that's just a program that's going off. But you can notice as you're an adult, you're like, people aren't responding the same way. That's because people are waking up saying, I don't want that feeling. I don't want to be around that energy. And you don't even know if there's a habit. So pay attention to something you might be saying, some type of reaction. Are you taking it personal or are you trying to get something? I don't know exactly what it is because they said it's like all connected and leads into. And so as a child, tell me more about what happened as a child. As a child, you try to be compatible in your environment. And so you took on certain behaviors, which invading energies. Yes, what do you mean? Her energies to invade? No, people's energies invaded. And you learn that invading is scrutiny. What? You got over the guilt, or is you got? Oh, is part of that behavior have to do with guilt tripping? Don't know. Michelle, A Pillon, Pillion. Long and dark, dusty road. Wipe the dust off your boots and say goodbye to them. The compatibility with certain things, you no longer belong in certain groups, certain kind of thinking. You're like, but I love these people. You have to venture out because it's really soft energy. You have to venture out and allow yourself to be more you and in the arts and craft field or the right brain field of spirituality. You need to go down that road a little bit more because they're saying it's time. It's time for you to take that next adventure. Hello. To take that next adventure, and if you do, then you can excel. But if you keep pulling yourself back to please others, it is going to cause a negative reaction for you, and you're going to keep causing yourself to repeat a particular hell to the point where it's just going to annoy you, and you're not going to be able to jump forward in your soul's path the way you want to. So literally allow yourself to see the triggers that cause you to go back. Literally begin to stop the triggers. Delinda Haynes. Delinda. What? Resonates. She takes on other people? Does she have a resonation? She resonates with... Where are you going? It's important that you be validated. They're showing me at 3 that you felt invalidated, and you are learning how to validate yourself, but at the same time, that program that said that you were invalidated makes it hard for you to stay in your growth pattern that's happening. What do you point at? Oh, because the strategy that was created as a young child to get validation, and it's a particular strategy to get it. So if you have to have a hiccup along the way to get validation, okay, so they say that now it's become such a habit that you have a reaction feeling that goes within, and it really hurts. And it's like you're trying to be mindful of what you're doing, but your body says, "Hey, I got the program. The program is still here. I don't care what you're thinking. I'm going to fuck it up because I'm going to make you go back to the old pattern." You need to disrupt that. You need to heal that. Go find an NLP expert. Come create make an appointment with me. We can break things up, but it's about how you interact with the environment. Bobby, Caudle, Bobby. My nickname is Bobby when I was little. Very bashful feeling, very bashful energy. Don't really want to step out. There's paranoia of energy that occurs. You felt 6 years old, and you felt two emotions at the exact same time from other people, and one of them was paranoia, so that's why it's not really yours, and the second one is panic. So because it is a psychic trauma, I will show you the healing. You get a refrigerator magnet or use your hand, and then you put your hand like this and you say psychic trauma, and you say paranoia and panic, psychic trauma, paranoia and panic, psychic trauma, paranoia and panic. You only need to do that 3 times. So it's out on the field, collect it, do the emotion, and you can start to release it out of your own body. Particular what? So you have like a depression, or it's a particular ambivalence. Disrupt that pattern, because it's really going to mess with you to really think that that is who you are. Again, you're picking shit up from other people. I would say look up Connecting Heaven and Earth by Nikki Lloyd. What about the biochemistry in the body? There's an uncertainty of interaction. Link. No. Come on. What do you mean? No. Glands. What about them? Which ones are you referring to? Okay, so you're talking about balancing the pancreatic point. Okay, so the story of the way the glands are communicating are not really connecting. So we need to connect your okay. So there's a pancreas reflex point. It's right here. It's on the rib. It's on both sides. I'd rub those things. Excuse my boobs, but rub them. No, that was not a pretty picture. So the fluctuation of that causes, I don't know if you have sugar issues or don't have sugar. I don't know what it is, but like you're eating and all of a sudden you're really tired. Take and rub those. I'm not going to do that, but you rub those, tap them if necessary like that, but get that corrected so that the communication, and will that help correct the link? So you need to make it a pattern, especially after you eat. Just make it a pattern altogether, because it helps rebuild the immune system to fight and do its job. Patricia Williamson Hinsden, Ooh. Oh, wrong page. Sorry. Where? Structure. Physical life. So you have to have certain structure, but somehow it's caving in. They're saying change your structure of a pattern, break it up, because the monotony sometimes starts getting to you, and then it feels like you're going insane. So somehow, if you could disrupt your own structure, add something different, add another element, change it up, because when you get too attached to a particular behavior, you're talking about moods. See, it's not even about the structure. So this moods, that then you begin to feel like you have the lack of control. So the lack of control actually comes because you don't allow yourself to bring in the right brain ideas, so that you can balance out your intuition. And you learn that from your family. What about this dishonor? So a long time ago, from what I can tell, like 5 years old, you were using your intuition, and somehow it you felt like they're using the word dishonored because there's not another one here, but you feel like the story and all of this is that somehow you used intuition and it was wrong, and then you feel like you dishonored somebody. I can't get the correct sounds. I'm trying to interpret that, but somehow something occurred and it hurt. Daily, bull. Hysterical. I lost my shit the other night. I don't know whether you did or not, but the point is they said it had to do with it was a party that didn't want to feel that panic. There was some type of panic. Was that yours? No. You're not aware when other people. Oh, so you can be distanced. So are you connected with a particular person? No. This happens to be. So the connection of energy is panic. So that means that if somebody's panicked, doesn't matter where, all of a sudden you can start picking it up. But the way it comes through is the lower half of you will start to panic, but then you feel like you got to move. I mean, it literally creates a motivation for you to do something, and then there's a story that goes with it. I don't know what the story is. Can you tell me anything about the story? It just is a habit that she has. Um, what about this? Um, you have to live their way. Their way. So, what are you having for supper tonight? Well, I'm going to make, no, you're going to make, I like this better. It's just in the way in the wording is that all of a sudden you're like, yeah, I'll make that. Oh, let's watch TV tonight. It's a great movie. But I'm in the mood for this movie. Oh, okay. Do you see what they're saying? It's just in the way that the communication is. Misty Frankie Ramos? Hysterical energy too? I'm like that all the time. Is this in this life? Yes. You're talking about in the history. So you're talking about a code, an encoding. Mm, back in the day, when a woman showed any type of emotion, she was considered hysterical. Well, let's put her in the insane asylum. Let's do this to her. And it's like, I feel like old paradigms that if you act a certain way, they're going to put you in this label of this position. Oh, you must be nuts. Do you understand that? So you must have somebody that has that old type thinking around you, and that really confuses you because you're like, but, which kind of stops you from being you. Does that make sense? Um, uh, you've had this really, so part of that encoding again, and there'll be many triggers, and you're going to have to start catching a trigger because sometimes a trigger is not the correct trigger for you to accept that that's truth. You're like, wait a minute. So re-educate yourself that it's okay to have an emotion and you have rights to feel that way. And if you don't, you get up and you just act differently around them and change the circumstances. And there's a lot of other things you can do, but stop showing up the way that they want. Devane, Anne. What? Okay, first of all, I seen a dog's paws. Then I heard pitter patter of little feet. You feel indifferent about something and you're not sure how to connect with that particular part of your heart. You feel you're judging yourself quite. You're thinking that, oh yeah, this is my lofty energy. This is my, but you're judging yourself, and then they said really the reason that your energy is that in that is because you're known for being that. So you may as well claim to be that when you're not. You're not really that anymore because they said that you have been changing. You're starting to look at things differently, but you can't help but just get discouraged. So you take that discouraged wherever you go and apply it to things you're looking at, which causes that dull feeling inside that makes it so that you almost can't connect. They say that this is just mainly a habit now. And it's like all of a sudden your ass just doesn't have any get up and go. It's like, oh, just sits there and it's like, and that energy, it's like it's big. It just feels like a heavy weight. I mean, there is no feeling there. So change those emotions, and it ends up being, this is my reaction. This is who I am. You just kind of accepted and settled. Oh, another name, Megan Johnson. Okay. I don't know if Megan is still here. I feel like distant energy. It's as if they disconnected. You want a reading, but you're not stepping forward. So do you get mistaken for this a lot? Like they'll be passing out candy and you'll get skipped. It's like all of you is not present. You can be jumping up and down naked and you're still not going to get that energy to be present. Does that make any sense? Shame and guilt. Shame and guilt stopped you from coming forward and saying, I'm next, I'm here. It's like you looked around and you've seen all these other people that, they're out there, they're raising a hand, and then there's a part of you that was shamed and guilt that you're not supposed to do that, so you pull your energy back, so then you keep getting skipped. And it just causes this particular, and it does, again, you can jump around naked and still not get what other people are getting. You can get the other crap, but it's like, oh. They're saying this happened around 4 years old, and the clue happens to be that when you feel other people's lofty energy of reaching out and grabbing, you don't want to be that. I don't want to be like them, you said. And therefore, it causes you not to bring your energy forward so that you can have your share of energy. So you condemn something and said, I can't be it. Therefore, you won't allow the energy to come in balance with you. Okay. Now, is that Bobby? No, I think I already got that. Yeah, we got that. I believe that's it. If you haven't got read, see, I can't, I'll have to go through and read these. Okay, there. I see someone says Nani. Okay, so did you say I'm here? Because you did not mean to miss anybody. Nani. All right, ready? Target. Are you a target? Not at a target, but are you a target? It's like you seem to be a target for people to say nasty things to you. It feels like people are zeroed in. Wait, what? What the hell is this? It just feels like it's a pitfall of energy that just keeps coming to you that's very unhealthy. Do you feel like you deserve this? No. Did somebody pin this on you? No. Do you have some type of energy that's not supposed to be in that space? Is your spirit in your body? No. That's not good. All right. So you're going to just take your magnet, your hand, whatever, and you're going to do this. You're going to say, I put my spirit in my body 100%. I put my spirit in my body 100%. I put my spirit in my body 100%. And you do that a couple times, and the emotion that's there is, I can't be happy. So you're going to have to learn to say, I choose happiness instead of I can't be happy. Stop repeating that. I choose happiness. It's not even dislodged. Your spirit just jumped out because it didn't think it could be happy. But you got to learn to say, I'm thankful and grateful because there's happy there. Oh, I can see happy in eating this ice cube. Whatever you got. It's just a learning to be happy. Now, is there anybody else that we've missed? Okay, if we have finished it, re-listen to re-listen to it, Judith. And the reason why is that if you can't understand me, then you might be scattered, like a little scattered. Do the Wayne Cook posture. All right, go to my page. You have to, don't put www, so you put medicine woman for you.weebly.com, and you're going to go there and you're going to look for healing and then healing tools, and then you're going to look for Wayne Cook posture, because your energies are scrambled and you can't hear, and it can wipe other people out. So if you just got here, Desiree, we'll do you. Why is this freaking up? All right, Desiree Swift. Why am I standing in a puddle of water? Because I'm always wet. I'm always crying. So did your needs were not met? Yes, I didn't have that ability to stay dry. So you're saying that your needs weren't met. That's what all that interpretation is. And so because some of your needs were not met when you were little, it causes you to be arrested development. You were not allowed to develop in certain areas. And can you give me anything else? So instead of building up the development of having confidence, you have self-consciousness. Your self-conscious is that, somebody's going to see something wrong with me, because I can feel it, I can see it, and I see them seeing it, even if that's not what they're doing. They say that you obsess about that so much that it actually causes you to back away. Remember, building confidence up, creating a vulnerability and having the courage, allowing yourself to get in the ring to get it done, will start building the confidence up, because then you'll be able to do it. But they said that particular need wasn't met. You need to start meeting those needs, or disrupt and say, okay, yeah, I didn't have a need met. I admit it. It has an emotion. I'm going to resolve it and get it out. But you have to do this and clear it out, because then you're going to be, because your ego right now keeps making you create a particular story over and over. There's I can't read that name, a stupid thing. I think it says Danny Dowdy. The reason I'm saying that is because I can't get the, I'll be glad when this is fixed. All right. No, that's not what I said. Unpin. How'd that happen? Don't know. I will read all your comments, so I appreciate that. There it is. There is a Danny Dowie, D-O-W, Dowey. I'm sorry, the machine does not allow me really to see names. Okay, Danny. What am I, all over the place? Is that what you're trying to say? Energy is all over the place. Energy is all over the place, yes. Why is it all over the place? No, that's not the question. The question is, I have to be all over the place. Oh, now my head, the spirits are here. So, misunderstanding. Apparently, you have an ability to communicate with the other side, but you don't understand how to do it. Oh, tell me, Jesus. And it can create depression, and you want certain things to stop. And they're saying you can't let it stop. So you had to take on a role to be somebody else. And so the energy of paranoia to some degree can affect you because you may not even know you're doing it because it's very subtle. It's very subtle. And it causes you to, you have to force yourself to do the right thing. But when you line up yourself to those that say this is right and this is wrong, the rules change when you get a new person. The rules change when you get a new person. So writing your own right and wrong gets very confusing because you haven't found the one that's really right for you. And there are standard rules, don't kill anybody, but I'm talking about right and wrong. So if you can't be yourself, they said that that's wrong, that you can't be yourself and that you have a trapped emotion. And this trapped emotion is that you have to stay so-so. You have to stay so-so. Therefore, you won't fuck it up. Does that make sense? Stupid thing. Ah, wonderful. Okay. I believe that's it. You guys have been wonderful. Thank you for understanding how I do things and respecting how I do it. I will read through the comments, and if you hit liked or love, then I will go through and send you some cards. Send you a card. If you shared it, you get a card. Steve just popped on. Steve, did you want a minute and a half read? If you do, say yes. Otherwise, I'm going to get ready to get off. I appreciate you all sharing and caring and wanting this. But remember, we got to keep the energy exchanged. I give, you give somehow. That would be most appropriate. And I will be tomorrow night. Yeah, I'll be on tomorrow night. Okay, so I see one more, and that's Angela Allen. Oh, you're welcome, Leon. Okay, Angela Allen, we'll do that. You just got in under the buzzer. Minute and a half read, that's what you get. I don't feel like I have a voice. It's so faint. Wow, it's like I don't have a neck. So you're talking about chakras? No, you're talking about an experience of this life. 5 years old. You get stage fright. An agenda. Somebody had an agenda that caused you to go into a physical reaction, and sometimes your body keeps doing a particular physical reaction, mimicking that particular active memory. That's it. So we need to break up that. So what do you want to, what, is there a particular emotion? Yes. How many? 2 particular emotions that causes it. You get people that are envious around you, and you have believed over time hopelessness, meaning that it happened again and again and again and again and again, that over time it just become hopeless. Fuck it, what's the point? But these 2 particular energies literally causes you to go into a physical reaction from what I can feel. It changed the energy in you, which can be disrupted. You don't have to live with it. It goes into the thinking, I can't figure this out. I can't figure this out. And so I would be using hope therapy to pull that out, change your thinking. There's other healing tools out there. If not, you can always make an appointment with me. So those of you, appreciate everything. I'll be on tomorrow night. You can pay to have 11:11 if you'd like. So anyways, just look on my page and see when I'm going to be on. I'm trying to find new ways. Steve, good one, huh? Maybe Nicole. Spirit says, all right. All right. One more person. Steve, did you say you wanted one or not? Nicole Thompson, minute and a half. That's what you get. You like your habits. There's nothing wrong with your habits. Don't tell me anything's wrong with my habits. There's nothing wrong with my habits. But the habit is not bad habit. Sometimes a habit is just contemplating, talking in your head, self-talk, doing too much of it creates the energy to be in your head instead of in your heart. And it can create a very much your physical body to think something's happening, and you can be more prone to issues like whatever sickness. If somebody says there's a sickness out there, you're like, I get that. I don't know what the snort's about. Um, Bullied. Uh, you seem to attract people that bully you, and it just comes out of the blue. And um, that it goes back to when you were a kid and you thought you were not wanted in the family. There was an actual feeling that you felt like you were not wanted in the family. And as you took that consciousness on, the time that you were born, is that her? No, you picked that up as somebody else's. And because you pick that up, then now but that sets it like a GPS and controls your world right now. You can get rid of that. You can change that. It's not just thinking about it being gone. You do need to acknowledge it, but you need to take the emotion of how you know it out. Remember, a great healer can be somebody that just knows it. There's certain knowing. Okay? All right. People keep getting sneaking in here. Spirit, yes. So why does Spirit want me to keep doing this? Don't know. All right, Danny. Minute and a half, that's it. I'm a tiger, it's all I need. A tiger. So can you change your stripes? Is that what you're referring to? Is it I can't change my stripes? Somebody wants you to change. Somebody wants you to change your structure of how you live. Is it you? No. The structure of how you live. Habits? Yes and no. Um, So does somebody have in mind that you're supposed to have something, a job, do something differently, a particular thing differently? And you can feel this pressure because the interaction with the environment, you're like, yeah, but I just don't have something. Do you have the motivation? No, you don't have you just don't know how to find it. There's something in particular you want, and I can see that in your mind, but can you physically take action to do it? No. And the reason you can't is because all I hear is fuck the world. So it's the attitude that affects the emotion, which affects the way that you do things, which doesn't allow you to have a plan because you've had people in your life that always had an agenda, and you're like, fuck that. So it's a rejection of something you said you didn't want to do, but yet now you need certain energies of that to be able to motivate yourself to do things. Is that correct? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Y'all just wonderful people. And I am. There's got to be a cutoff point at some point. Daisha Hall, and then that's it. Anybody else? You've come tomorrow night. A minute and a half, that's all you get. Oh, you're just going to go right there in the brain when it's depression, huh? And it's controlled by inadequate because you don't know how to be yourself. So you're playing a certain role. So you have had to learn to put your chin up because you have felt sadness and impending doom, and you are doing your best to keep your chin up. Why? What's happening? Hmm. You know how to self abuse, and that is to deny yourself love, be a martyr in some cases. That is self abuse, people. Um, you don't know how else to be. You look at everybody out there and you just don't feel like this is your connection. You can't, all right, you really need to get out of that. I would just start putting your hand up here to bring the blood back up to your forebrain. You need to put your finger on your forehead and then your belly button, push and lift up and hold that for about 2 minutes. And you need to learn how to do Connecting Heaven and Earth by Donna Eden, so you can get these people's energies out of your space, because it literally is causing you to feel like, where are you? Okay, so, all right. Remember to like the page and you can get notified. And I will be on tomorrow night. Love you, see you, and all I can. Oh, you say, stay blessed.